Quiet Time. Finding Silence in a World That Will Never Be Quiet Again. Chapter 34 of Eat Well, Move Well, Live Well. 52 Ways to Feel Better in a Week. Insidious Noise Pollution. I often work from home in the mornings before heading out to see clients. Working from home is not all it's cracked up to be. Recently, I complained on Facebook about the city's gardeners edging, mowing, and leaf blowing under my window, starting as early as 7:15 every Monday. Monday is bad enough, but it wasn't just Monday. On Tuesday, our apartment complex's gardeners do the same thing, still under our windows, but inside the complex rather than along the city streets. That Wednesday, another group of gardeners stopped by to trim the hedges under the window. And on Friday, another group of gardeners came to leaf blow our entire complex free of leaves for the weekend. At least I'm learning the schedule. Back on Facebook, several people agreed that it was a problem, but a few people suggested that I was being a whiner. One even said, "So sorry for your first world problems." Is it really a first world problem that I don't want hours of loud engine noise disrupting 4 out of my 5 workdays? Maybe the real first world problem is that people feel a need for carefully manicured plants and grass. The strange desire for streets, sidewalks, and parking lots totally free of leaves is strong enough that we are willing to suffer through hours of noise pollution. I wonder how an old world village would react if you sent in a gardening crew to loudly blow all the leaves away 4 times per week. Noise pollution is a real problem, but it's insidious. We tune it out. We push it to the back of our minds, but it's there, distracting us at best, making many of us edgy and unproductive, and in the worst cases, contributing to high blood pressure and even cardiovascular disease and mental illness. The evolution of noise. It's only been a few hundred years since we've been exposed to the levels of noise that we are today. It's only been a few thousand years that we've lived in cities and been exposed to constant, low-level noise. We evolved during quieter times, and we certainly aren't yet biologically used to our loud world. Studies into what noise pollution does to our health show hearing loss, headaches, high blood pressure, speech interference, poor sleep, and lost productivity. And it turns out that people exposed to constant levels of noise, such as airplane engines and street traffic, are admitted to psychiatric hospitals at higher rates than those in quieter neighborhoods. Types of noise pollution and what we can do about them. No matter the health-related issue, I encourage people to change what they can, control what they can control, and minimize the rest. This is as true for handling our exposure to noise as it is for our diet and exercise regime. With noise pollution, there are 3 basic aspects to deal with: loud noise, ambient noise, and strangely, lack of silence. Loud noise, such as airports, traffic, powered gardening, sirens, industrial noise, power tools, and loud music. When it comes to loud noises, it's important to have good ear protection and reduce the time of exposure. We see airport personnel and gardeners wearing ear protection, but home gardeners and weekend carpenters rarely do. Buy some and use it. We like our music loud, but constant exposure and competing noise, music and otherwise, slowly build up our tolerance, so we pump up the volume even more. Protecting your ears and reducing your exposure to loud noises over time should help to reset your sound preferences. In the meantime, try actively listening to your music a little quieter. Use earbuds that block out ambient noise rather than cheaper headphones that need to be cranked up to compete with the outside world. Ambient noise. Coffee houses, chatter, televisions, radios, and background music. Some of us work better when we are surrounded by ambient noise. My suspicion is that we get used to the lack of silence and find comfort in constant, if non-specific noise. Even when alone, the TV talks to us, and many people are comforted by being around people at Starbucks, even when they sit alone and talk to no one. Today, noise can be comforting where silence probably comforted our ancestors. Many of us have no choice but to deal with ambient noise, often resorting to blasting our own music louder in an attempt to make the outside noises even less specific to us. Yes, you can hear the hiss of the espresso machine, but it's background noise now. When the blender blends, you turn up the volume. In an attempt to put ambient noise further into the background, we push ourselves farther into loud noise territory. Can you see how these things build on each other? Lack of silence. Lack of silence? How can something that isn't even a thing be a problem? We, as a species, developed in silence compared to the constant noise that we live in today. We think we need the noise, but we're just used to it, and over time have come to expect it. While avoiding the loud noises and cutting down on constant ambient noise is important, seeking out silence in the environment where it's found might be the most beneficial act of all. Look for silence. The world is never totally quiet, but you know natural silence or quiet when you don't hear it. Find opportunities to get quiet as best you can. The act of finding your silence has benefits beyond merely not hearing all that noise. You might have heard of Shinrin-yoku, a Japanese term meaning forest bathing. Forest bathing has nothing to do with washing up or being naked. In the most general way, it means being in the forest for health purposes, enjoying the peace and quiet, and relaxing. Shinrin-yoku works well enough that it's a prescribed stress reduction therapy in Japan and Korea. Keep in mind 100% nature and 100% quiet are not required. We have a regional park near us, and technically it's surrounded by highways, even though you can't see them. When I go there and find a tree to climb on or a rock to sit on, I feel the quiet. Yes, I can listen hard and hear the sounds of traffic off in the distance, but the woodpeckers, squirrels, and bubbling streams win this time. For my purposes, my park is quiet. Your tasks for this chapter. 1. If you work with loud noises, head to the store and buy some ear protection and use it. The type of noise and how often you're exposed will help you choose from among simple earplugs to high-tech earmuffs like the guys who gave Maverick the thumbs up in Top Gun used. 2. Upgrade your sound. If you're wearing headphones that force you to crank the volume to hear over that guy next to you, it's dangerous to your hearing and time for you to shop for better sound. Studies show that people who wear earphones that fully cover the ears actually listen at a lower volume because they don't have to cover up the outside noise. If you do choose earbuds, choose ones that fit in your ear well and are designed to block outside noise. 3. Take a sound break. Instead of always covering up sound with even more sounds, try to block them out. You can use your ear protection, but even over-the-ear earphones block out quite a bit of noise when you're not playing music. 4. Find your quiet. This might be challenging if you live in a city. As hard as this is to say, you might just have to drive to find quiet, but it will be worth it. Your quiet space doesn't have to be 100% free of the noises of modern life, but when you find your spot, the silence will drown out the noise and you'll know it, and feel it. I hope you've enjoyed Quiet Time, Chapter 34 of Eat Well, Move Well, Live Well. For more chapters like it, head over to eatmovelive365.com.